Hey everybody, I'm going to go into a little bit more of an in-depth review on the June statistics from our market. This is the 13 county Twin Cities, so this is not just Dakota County, which a lot of times I spend time talking about Dakota County, Scott County, Rice County, kind of the South Metro, of course Hennepin and Ramsey as well. But this is actually the Twin Cities and surrounding areas. So this is a large snapshot. Your micro market or your hyper local information may be a little bit different, but it's going to be generally similar. So let's go right into it here. Change in new listings down 16.6%. No surprise there. Also down 18% in closed sales. We were down even more than that in May. So we did see an increase in closed sales and new listings, which would kind of tell a story. I've seen a lot of agents, a lot of teams having really great Junes, and that is reflected in these numbers. So while it's still down, June was a relatively good month for business for agents, but I will say June and August, or excuse me, July and August are looking to be kind of more in track with what the people were anticipating, which is a down market. And so it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the July numbers when they come out. That usually comes out in like the first or second week of the next month. So we will definitely come on and talk about that. Another piece which I touched on Instagram as well in the short version of this video was that median sales price or that average sales price number. You'll see we're up 1.3%, and it's not a bad thing. We're still appreciating, which is great, but I think it just shows that what the Fed's doing with trying to squeeze the economy a little bit, and with inflation kind of going out of control the last few years, we're seeing that number in the double digits. And in fact, some other huge markets were like Scottsdale, Seattle, some of those markets were exploding, like 20% median sales price increases, which is not sustainable at all. So a normal real estate year, that number should be more like 3 to 6%. So we're getting pushed down pretty hard. But I think it's a good thing. And I'll be really curious to see where we end up at the end of the year with that number. So, but here's another thing to look at too is the month supply of inventory. So if you look 1 year ago today, we were at 1.7 months. Today we are at 1.9 months. So we are creeping up in inventory. But what's odd is we are not seeing as many new listings. And so what that tells us is that the listings we do have are sitting a little bit longer. And you'll see that's reflected right here. Days on market until sale. A year ago we were at 21, and today we are at 30. That's an increase of nearly 43%. So I've been having a lot of friends come to me lately and say, I know someone at work, or I met somebody who has their house on the market. It's been on for 14 days, and they're really frustrated with their agent. What's wrong with the house? And it's like, no, this is kind of how this goes. A normal market, homes sit on the market for a little bit before they get a bunch of attention. So if you're one of those people, don't panic. This is just the market that we're dealing with today. It doesn't mean your house is not going to sell. It just means that times are changing, and your marketing plan and the things you're doing need to change with it. So I would say hold your agent accountable to continuing to look under every rock, push your listing out to loan officers and on Facebook and social media and all those things. It's more important now to expose it to the most people as possible than it's ever been. So what else can I look at on here that is kind of the most fascinating? Well, I would say the percent of original list price received is another interesting metric. You can see a year ago today, on average, sellers were receiving 3.3% over asking price. Today, that number is still great, still positive at 101.3, but it's down, 2%. So I think that number is going to continue to squeeze down as we get into Q4. Q4, I've been told is, I listen to a lot of different opinions, you guys. If I talk to 5 people, I'm going to hear 5 different opinions. But the one that I think is the most accurate is going to be predicting a pretty quiet Q4. I think rates are going to stay up a little bit longer before they come down. Some people think they're going to come down and settle into the 5s before the end of the year. I don't know if I can see that happening. I think they're going to really try and get this economy under control, and they're going to do whatever it takes to do so. And the fact is, people still have jobs, people still have money, and so keeping rates up high is kind of the only way to curb that. But if you have a different opinion, or you are a economist or an expert in the field, please leave a comment below. Would love to hear your perspective on things. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, I always tell people with changing markets, there's new opportunity. And so there's kind of 2 opportunities that I think of in this sort of market. And that's one, if you're a buyer and you're unaffected by interest rates, meaning you're a cash buyer, or you find hard money, but that obviously comes with expenses too. But I would say a cash buyer right now is really coming into a really nice opportunity, because while a lot of investments are not penciling for people who have to take out financing or go get hard money lending, you're looking at 7% plus interest rates. You start borrowing hard money, you're probably getting into like 10, 12%. And so if you have cash to spend, you can come in, get the properties at a discount, you can close quickly. A lot of times you can be the hero for some of these sellers who have had frustrating experiences with keeping their house on the market. Maybe it needs work, and you can come in and solve that problem. So I think there's huge opportunity for cash buyers, or if you create capital with an investment group or something, and you can pile funds, now is the time to start doing that and start looking for opportunities. The second opportunity is if you're a seller and you own a property free and clear, or you are willing to do subject to financing or some sort of creative seller financing, is to look into that as a really secure option for your money. So what does that mean? That's a whole other conversation in itself. But in short, when you sell an investment property, you are going to have to claim that lump sum as income. And a lot of times the taxes associated with that are massive. But when you sell on seller financing, there are different ways around that. You can create passive income without actually having to deal with managing the property. And I think a lot of agents don't give their sellers some of these options, some of these creative options. But it's a great way to keep your money safe, not pay it to Uncle Sam necessarily, and hedge against inflation. Like, put your money in something that's going to appreciate. Worst case scenario, the person who buys your home on seller financing defaults, you get the property back, you can do it all over again. So if you want to have a conversation about that, let me know. I love talking about investing in seller finance. And with that, I will wrap this up. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next month, and thanks for visiting the channel. Subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.